Miss Uma, as he said, she wears many hats. She was also part of DFF once upon a time, the Directorate of Film Festivals, and she's been a programmer. She's also been a casting director for many well-known films, including the likes of Lagan and several other films. And Cary, of course, he's a part of the festival in London, the Indian Film Festival in London. And the gentleman to my left, he's the director of, he runs the festival. He's a programmer for the London Festival, the London Indian Film Festival. And of course, the gentleman to my left in Kerala or any place in India, he's got the most national awards than any other person in the country, Mr. Adoor Gopalakrishnan.
Adoor, let me start with you. Now, I'm going back to your childhood. Now, I believe you come from that village that has the same name as you. And then you were very interested in arts as a child and so on, and as an actor. Now, that's in your bio, that you used to act as a child. Now, what happened to that? Why didn't you continue acting?
Decided to make films. I wanted to stay behind the camera. Not before. Not before. See, it's a nice way of hiding behind, without anybody seeing you, you do your work. And the director, whatever the director has done in a film is least noticed, There was this very interesting film I think it came from USA, where, somebody after great difficulty, after struggles, long struggle, gets to make a film. And finally he has his preview. And some people have gathered and all that. And the show was over, and he thought people will come and embrace him because he has made this film, he has directed it. Instead, they were following a man and a woman who did the lead role. And then he went and told them, look, I made the film. He only directed it. He said they were going after the artist. So he is the least seen person in the film.
Well, I don't think that's the case with you. They remember you and your actors who are all brilliant come later. So, but in your bio, I've read that you took a job, a government job, and then suddenly decided to take to cinema, and left it and went to FTI.
For various reasons, I gave up the job because it was a job of a statistical investigator. At that time, that was the time when it was impossible to get a job, a governmental job particularly. And I thought I was a genius to be selected, for the job. I was very pleased. So were my own brothers, other siblings, and parents. So I was very pleased with myself. So very happy and all that. And I went on with the job. After a year or so, I said, no, my life cannot be this, collecting data. Collecting data of actually the National Sample Survey is basically the institution where they collect information on everything. The use of the land, the people's lives, their livelihood, so many things, practically all imaginable things about human life. This data is very interestingly collected, and that forms the basis for the 5-year plans. So I had a very important role in that sense. So I was very serious about my work. But after 1 year, I got so bored with it. And in fact, even the pay I received was nice because in those days, central government jobs brought you almost double the pay state government employee gets. So that way also I was very pleased. But then the excitement did not last for more than 1 year. That was the time when I thought, no, for me to do, I should specialize in theatre. I was already very well prepared for it, but then I wanted to do further specialization. First I thought of joining the National School of Drama, but that School of Drama, I later learned that it was their medium was Hindi. My Hindi was very poor, in that sense. And also I did not want to do Hindi theatre back in Kerala. I wanted to do only Malayalam theatre. So I gave up that idea. And by sheer accident I chanced upon an advertisement in the newspaper that they were calling for admissions to the Film Institute. And one course particularly attracted my attention, that was screenplay writing and direction. Very naively I thought the screenplay writing I'll be learning more about playwriting by reading, studying playwriting academically. This was my thought. But so I was never enamored of cinema. I always saw from my childhood. Of course, I had good chance to go and see films even without paying it for the ticket because my uncle owned a couple of cinemas. So, so it was possible. But then, if I frequented the cinema too very often, then I'll be written off as a waster. So I was also afraid of that. So I wanted to be a good boy, not watching too many films. So the kind of films I watched in those days were these mythologicals, particularly made in Tamil. They were very popular all over South. So watching them, I could never imagine that I could be anywhere near that, in terms of as a profession. So that was not in my mind. But interestingly, I happened to see Adhar Panchali. So I saw the film. I hardly understood anything that they talked, but I was captivated by the visuals, the characters, the beauty of the storytelling and all that. The children, the way they were handled and all that. But I cannot say I saw that film and decided that I should become a filmmaker. No, not at all. It was only a fanciful experience, that's all. But then after I joined the institute, it so happened that Padar Panjali was almost our textbook. Professor Satish Bahadur made it the text, and he analyzed it with sound, without sound, and with, all that. Even without picture, and only sound you hear, like that. In my second year, Rathik Katak joined. In fact, in the first year, there was an officer from I don't know from where he came, Ramadharasan. I think obviously he was a Tamil. But very interestingly, for him, film appreciation was a film will be shown and he will say how beautiful it is. And we all thought, why should there be a teacher for that, to say that? So 1 year passed with that kind of appreciation. And then came Professor Satish Bahadur.
So I was going to ask you, did you enjoy your time at FTI?
Greatly.
4 years?
3 years.
3 years. Okay.
3 years.
And your contemporaries
Professor Bahadur I particularly mentioned here because he was a professor in the Agra University, and he organized a film club there, and he was running that film club so successfully. Everybody concerned with cinema knew about it, and that was about the time when the film institute started, and then Mrs. Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, as the I&B minister, she invited Mary Sitton to advise the government on how to introduce film studies in our education. It's very interesting. She came and she heard about Professor Bahadur at the Agra University. She went to Agra, met him, talked to him, and went back to Delhi and told Mrs. Gandhi, he should go to the Film Institute.
No, you're all too young, but Satish Bahadur was a very big name for film students at that time.
Yes.
But he has not been given his due,
yes.
I feel. I'm so glad that you are mentioning
him.
Yes,
I particularly very gratefully remember him. And then same year, again Mrs. Gandhi, when somebody with vision is there at the top, things happen.
Oh.
This was one example. And this was a time when Katak had no work to do. Because every time he made a film, he will introduce, at the screenings, he will introduce the producer, and here is my sacrificial God. This is the way he did that. And it was maybe out of simple frustration. So then he had no work to do. And Satyajit Ray, at that time, Satyajit Ray was the president of the Federation of Film Societies, and Mrs. Gandhi was the vice president. So he called up Indira Gandhi and told her that, look, here is someone who is brilliant, but he has no job. Why don't you give him a job at the Film Institute? Then she gave the job. He was appointed as the professor of direction and vice principal. So he had, of course, a lot of problems there, but then he was there during my 2 years there. And he continued for 1 more year, I think. He had problem with the establishment, of course. He was anti-establishment all the time. He was a very, very strong member of the Communist Party, and Communist Party could not contain him, so he was thrown out like that. He came from the theatre, very much a part of the nuclear group of the IPTA in the beginning. So that was the kind of, and slowly, very slowly, I got interested in cinema. The whole of first year I was reading only books on theatre and plays. And only by the second year, with these two real great people coming in, slowly I had my attention focused on cinema. That's how, and I utilized the whole time in the institute. Either I will be watching films or in fact I will be reading about films.